Hey everyone, Craig here from All Tech Together, coming at you with another product review. But before we get into it, I just want to remind everybody that I'm doing a giveaway from my last video, which is for the Creative Metalix Plus Bluetooth speaker. So if you're interested in winning one of those, check the description down below. I'm going to leave a link to that video so you can watch it, find out what to do, and maybe you can win a speaker. With that out of the way, today we're going to take a look at this, and that is the SteelSeries Rival 600. This is a gaming mouse. This was purchased with my own money, so there is no conflict of interest, and my views are mine and mine alone. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So with the Rival 600 in my hand here, you're going to notice one thing right away, and this I'm going to sort of talk about build quality first, but I want to get this out of the way because I think it's an amazingly good feature for this mouse, is the cable's removable. Now you might be looking at this and be like, hey, is that a battery or a wireless mouse? It's not. It's a wired mouse. It's just, it is a detachable cable. So just for the interest of ease of showing it to you, I'm just going to show without the cable so I don't have a cable flopping around. But just know that it is not wireless, only wired for this. Now, build quality wise, this thing feels fantastic. It's covered in this nice soft touch plastic all over, and I wish Logitech, Corsair, Razer, if you haven't done this to your mice yet, do it. I'm sure you're all clamoring to look at my videos, and that's fantastic, but soft touch this mouse. In the hand, this thing feels so nice. I can only equate it to you out there. It feels warm. Other mice feel plasticky and hard. This just feels really, really nice. So that is a massive thumbs up for SteelSeries. Now, this is, have your right and left click. You got your mouse wheel, which is also a button. Does not go right or left. It's only in and out. That's it. So just 3 buttons on the top, and then 3 buttons on the side, and then, 4 buttons on the top. You have a DPI selector. Okay, and then we have our 3 buttons on the left side of this mouse. This is not an ambidextrous mouse. So for all you left-handed viewers out there, I'm sorry. This probably isn't the mouse for you. But it really, really feels good in the hand. Now, one part that I want to talk about, it kind of works with build quality, but it's also one of the main features of this mouse. It's the fact that it has adjustable weight system. So, on the side, if I take this off, I can actually install more weight into this mouse, and it goes for both the right and the left side. So they just pop off with magnets, and inside you can install more weight. Now there's 8 4-gram weights, which I believe is an extra 32 grams of weight you are able to add to this. At its base, it's only 96 grams of weight. Now, some people are, I've read some reviews saying, hey, you can just take those sides off and it's a little itty bitty mouse. I tried to play with that. Talk about an uncomfortable mouse to play with. I think that's just silly, but hey, if you try it and you love it, I'm just a guy on a camera. Anyways, so you can adjust the weight to better conform to the way you want to play. So if you like a heavier mouse, put it in. If you want lighter mice, put them in. If you notice that you lift off one side more than the other side, put more weight on the one side. Try to even yourself out a little bit. It gives you that customization that honestly PC gaming is really, really good at giving the players, which is awesome. So they just go in. So here as well are those little 4-gram weights, and they simply just push in 2 little channels. They stick in there really nice. They're not going to fall out. And I love the fact that SteelSeries gave a little tiny silicone holder for them. That again just shows such attention to detail for a $100 mouse. Just the small little added benefits. You don't have these little 4-gram weights rolling all over the place, dropping on the floor under the desk, losing them. You can put what you want in or take what you want out, and then it's good. And then these sides, once you have your weight set in, these sides just hold on with magnets. And this again gets back to that build quality. When it's on, you can't tell that they come off. This thing is rock solid build-wise. There's no rattle. I'm shaking it. Here, I'll put it right by the mic. There's no sound in this thing whatsoever. So build quality-wise, great job from SteelSeries there. On the bottom, we only have 3 small mouse feet. This thing glides effortlessly. But those little 3 mouse feet eventually are going to wear down. And because they're so small, that could be a problem for somebody. It won't be a problem for me. But if you're really hard, if you just go crazy with your mice all the time, you could wear those little feet out. Now, the other thing, and this is the other, and we're going to talk about more about this in the software when I do the demo of the software and the RGB, because obviously there's RGB in this as well. Why not? There are 2 sensors. Now, the first sensor is the TrueMove 3 sensor. It is the main sensor. Now, I don't know how that stacks up to a PixArt, sort of sensor. But this sensor didn't lose any. It felt just like any of my other mice, and that's a G502 from Logitech. That's a Rocat Cone Amo, and I have a Razer Naga V2. And this tracks the same as all of those. I never noticed any imprecise movements, anything like that. The other one is sort of the gimmick, and we're going to do a live demonstration, I'm going to show you how this works. It's the liftoff sensor. And I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to show you tell you what it's supposed to do. And let's just see if it does it, shall we? Because that is the key. So this mouse has a lot of really good features. It's got the weight that you can adjust. It's got this 2 sensors, which we'll talk about that later. It's got the 3 side buttons. And it's got, just a really nice, soft touch finish that I fell in love with. The second it was in my hand, fell in love with it. Okay? Now, on to the parts that I'm not a fan of. And there's honestly one big one. These buttons, the 3 buttons on the left-hand side of this mouse, I don't know why SteelSeries, if you're listening to this, I don't know why you made them so dang narrow. They're long, but they're narrow. And I don't like that feeling. As well as for some reason, that front button, and I'm going to call it the sniper button because that's what a lot of people use this as a quick DPI lower. It is so far away from my thumb. When I put my foot on here, or my foot, if I'm playing games with my feet, I got a problem. When I put my hand on this mouse, I cannot reach that front button without totally adjusting my hand. Now, people say, well, yeah, it's because your hands aren't that big. And a lot of people might say, if you have smaller hands, this might not be the mouse for you. What does smaller hands mean? I don't know. So my hand, from the tip to the base of my sort of wrist here, is 7 inches. Okay? So if you want to see how that works, that's my hand. Now my thumb, from the knuckle of my thumb to the tip, is 2.5 inches. So you can actually probably measure your hand and see if it's going to fit okay on this mouse. If it's a little bit bigger, you're going to be fine. If it's smaller than my hand, you may run into problems. Now the other thing on that, it does rely on a little bit on how you hold the mouse. So take my measurements with a grain of salt, but just as sort of a numerical value to better help you see if this is going to fit you or not. So that is my biggest problem. If I can't reach that front button, and I got to totally readjust my whole hand when I want to reach it, that concerns me. But with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the software, and then we'll come back and we'll do some final conclusions, all right? So now let's take a look here at the software for this SteelSeries engine here that they have. So you won't have the Arctis Pro and Game DAC unless you bought one, but here's the Rival 600. And when you click on that, it brings up all these different settings here. Now, when I look up here, I can reassign button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, scroll up, scroll down, however I want. And I can also do a macro editor here. Default, the button that I was saying is pretty hard to reach. It is deactivated at the moment. So we can look here at the top, and then if I want to look at the left, here it can shoot me around to the left just by clicking. So it's kind of nice to be able to see that. illumination. This is your RGB. So right now I have mine to blue. Now you're going to be saying, Craig, how are you making the mouse move when you don't have your hand on the mouse? And I can see here, here's my hand. Hello. I'm doing a real-time showing of this. So I actually have one of my other mice plugged in so that I can show you and I can see how this really works. So I'm going to show the zones. And you can see the zone here. We got one for the mouse wheel. We've got 3 zones on each side for those lighting strips, and then 1 for the symbol. So if I want to, I take this, effects, steady, sure. And let's say I want to make, the scroll wheel red. Okay, boop, there went the scroll wheel to red. And hopefully you can see that. Let's say I want to make the top 2 on my lighting zones here on the sides. I want to make those a color shift. Sure, that works. Boop. Now they're going to color shift those to just those 2 up top. Let's say I want to make this symbol, the SteelSeries symbol. Let's go multicolor breathing. Yeah, why not? Save. Perfect. Now it's going to multicolor breathe. So this mouse really does lend itself an absolute ton to customization with all these zones. Now I will be the first to admit that these gradients, if I come to here and I go multicolor breathing, they're not the smoothest. They look okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're nowhere as nice as the Roccat Cone Amo. I think they really have the sort of best RGB implementation so far in a mouse, and that's really, really good. So it shows here how that sort of works. So I'm going to go back here, and we'll just leave it going in that color. We'll go back to settings here. On the right-hand side, we have the sensitivity. So one of the other kind of concerns I have with this mouse is there's only 2 DPI sensitivity changes. If you go to Roccat or you go to Logitech, I can speak on those 2 for sure. They have, I think, 5 or 6. They have quite a few more options there. Where this one you have 2. Which 2 should be enough, and that's fine. But I'm not a big fan of just the 2 sensitivity changes. I wish there were more and then let me either reduce it to 2 or just, I don't know. Just let me have it. But then I come down here, lift-off distance, high or low. So that's going to change how much lift-off I have. Do you wish to keep these settings? Let's confirm it. Okay, so we're going to keep that lift-off distance to low. Acceleration and deceleration, I leave that where it is. And then angle snapping and polling rate is 1,000. So fairly standard stuff here. But, when one company comes up with a great idea for their mouse, the other companies copy it. So that's why this is all very, very similar. Let's just go ahead and save these settings to the mouse. Now, let's bring up that secondary liftoff sensor. Now you will notice I changed the liftoff distance to low. And this is kind of why I wanted to do this in a real-time scenario. Because I want to see, does it really do its job? So what I'm going to do here is the mouse I'm currently using, I'll bring it into frame right now, and that's the Logitech G503. And this is sort of my go-to daily driver because it is so well built and so well renowned for everything. And what we're going to do is we'll do a real-time test here. I'm just going to move this one out of the way. And we'll take our mouse pointer and we're going to put it right in the center of the SteelSeries logo. Now I'm going to try this. Isn't scientific by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm going to lift it up and then put it down and see what happens to that mouse. So let's lift it up, put it down. Let's go back to center. Lift it up, put it down. So you're going to see how that mouse cursor moved that little bit. And just so there's no shenanigans here, I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to recalibrate it just so that you don't think that I've set this up to be a slight against SteelSeries. And what you do to recalibrate is you simply hold the DPI button for 3 seconds. And it's going to flash white. There it goes. And it recalibrates to whatever mouse surface you're using. So let's go ahead, grab this, lift it up. Oh, that was way out. Put it back in the center. Lift it up. Still, there is that movement when that liftoff sensor is supposed to stop that. Just for comparison, let's do the G503 here. Yeah, 503 here. Okay, so I'm going to get it close to the center. Okay, everybody can see that I'm not touching the mouse. Let's go. Let's lift it down. Lift it down. Lift it down. So you can see they're very similar. So I don't really see a benefit of that liftoff sensor. It's more so marketing gimmick to me than actual use. But let me know down in the comments if you think I did this incorrectly, or if any thoughts or feelings you have on that liftoff sensor, because I'd really like to know what you think, as well as what was SteelSeries trying to do here. Is this useful, or is this just sort of another marketing gimmick like so many other companies have tried before? So there you have it. We've taken a look at the software. It's a little bit lacking. Not great. We've taken a look at that sensor. You can kind of see how it works and what it does. I don't know if it's really worth it, because I didn't have any problems with anything else, but it's there. And at $100, this thing is competitive with the G502, which is a highly regarded mouse, as well as with the Kone Amo, which is also $100 Canadian. So about, I'm going to say around the $80, maybe $70 US mark. So it is priced really well. The function of it is fantastic. I didn't have any problems with that. The only concern is, hardware-wise, is just that front button. So hopefully this review helped you to make your purchase decision. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help out. Hit that subscribe button. I want to get that subscriber count up. I'm going to do more giveaways. After this Saturday, I'll figure out what's going to be my next giveaway. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.